The Grappler.
The Grappler.
There we go. They got him. They got him.
The Grappler device.
They got him.
I thought I was, right there. Whoa, there you go. That's what they were so worried.
When it comes to stopping criminals dead in their tracks, police have a few special tricks up their sleeve. From spikes, to nets, to hacking your car's computer, these are the latest traps police have in their arsenal.
All right, he's off. He's off again, spinning, he's off.
Spike strips. You can't have a high-speed car chase without at least considering spike strips. They're the classic solution to an age-old inflatable problem.
All right, he's off. He's off again, spinning, he's off. He's in the water. In the water, right-hand side.
How are you going to keep driving on nothing more than flapping rubber and bare rims? With a simple throw and some expert timing, say goodbye to your back tires as most criminals spin helplessly out of control. It can take a few attempts, but the end result is always the same: spun out in a ditch with your hands in the air. And that doesn't mean they don't deserve an upgrade though. Meet the remote-controlled retractable spike strip. Rather than risk being spotted or hit by oncoming traffic, police can operate this tire shredding device from a distance. And these retractable spike strips can then pull themselves out of the way of the pursuing police officer, making sure only the target car is hit. XNET. If you see a bit of mesh on the road ahead, you probably wouldn't think twice before running over it. Well, if it's the XNET, it'll tangle up your tires and axles, bringing you to a sudden stop in just seconds. Hidden amongst the net are tiny spikes which not only shred the tires, but lock in and pull the rest of the net tighter, strangling your car into submission in under 20 seconds. It won't just work on small cars either. There's up to 10 tons of stopping power in a single net. Grappler.
The Grappler.
The Grappler.
There we go. They got him. They got him.
The Grappler device.
They got him. The Grappler,
to stop the vehicle.
again, working to perfection.
Fitted to the front of heavy-duty police vehicles, the Grappler is an ingenious device that can end a car chase in the blink of an eye. Two retractable arms fold out with a netting of thick yellow cord attached, and this arrangement's designed to snag onto both the tire and axle, arresting it completely. The trick with the Grappler is getting close, sometimes close enough to touch the other car. Then, it's just a matter of hitting the brakes and letting the tether do its thing. It's especially effective against big trucks when spike strips or other methods fail, not to mention a whole lot safer than a pit maneuver. They might call it a Grappler, but I'm pretty sure it's just a lasso for cars. RF Safe Stop.
Slowing down.
The car safely coming to a complete stop, allowing DPS to move in, taking the driver into custody.
RF Safe Stop technology has to be the closest thing to real-life Jedi powers. Using a target deactivation emitter, anything that gets close to the device begins to lose power, eventually coming to a complete stop. It doesn't just work on the road either. This device will stop anything on land, on the water, and even in the air. It's the ultimate stop following me device. Modular Vehicle Barrier. When you need instant stopping power on large commercial vehicles, these modular vehicle barriers have it all. They might not look like much, but hit them at full speed and they'll destroy your front tires and buckle the underside of your truck in an instant. Not even semi-trailers stand a chance against these easily deployed barriers that can make any vehicle stand up straight in terror. Fortunately, you'll only find these modular vehicle barriers used as a last line of defense, often in extreme circumstances like the threat of war. Mobile Spike. This police invention is straight out of an episode of Wacky Wheels. When you don't have time to deploy spike strips ahead of a speeding criminal, the next best thing can be mounted to the front of your police car. With the flick of a button, a single spike strip ejects from the front bumper and can be used to pop the back tires. In under a minute, the tire's completely flat and the chase is over. Crook Hook. With a name like that, you could be forgiven for thinking police are now fishing for criminals. Looking at the hooks mounted to the front of this police car, it all starts to make sense. Police just have to ram the rear of the criminal's car before letting the hooks clamp onto the chassis. Even if you're driving a front-wheel drive, when the Crook Hook has you, you're not going anywhere. Vehicle Arrestor. It looks like nothing more than a flimsy mesh net that they use as a finish line in running races, but the vehicle arrestor packs a serious punch. Reinforced with steel rope, this netted barrier can absorb massive amounts of energy before snapping back with incredible force. It doesn't matter if you're a small car or massive semi-trailer at full speed, nothing's getting past this impenetrable net of doom. And the best part, when it's not in use, the vehicle arrestor hides neatly underneath a small groove in the ground and can be driven over normally. Star Chase. Depending on who you root for in a police car chase, the craziest ones often end up with the bad guys losing the cops with some sort of expert driving and risky maneuvers. While with the Star Chase, there's no such thing as a getaway car, because the cops will be able to track you from anywhere. Mounted to the front of the police car, the Star Chase is actually a GPS tracker attached to a low-powered harpoon-like device. When a police car gets close enough, the officer flicks a switch and the tracker's fired like a bullet into the rear of the criminal's car. With any luck, the tracker lodges into the trunk or chassis, and the chasing police car can then back off safely. Rather than following criminals at 100 miles an hour, police can now follow them from a safe distance and catch them when they least expect it. And with an 85% apprehension rate compared to 72% without the device, it's clear it works. Thorn Barriers. Mobile hedgehog barriers might be a recent addition to the police's arsenal, but the concept is far from a new one. Also nicknamed Thorn Barriers, we can actually trace these bad boys back to the Second World War, where they were used extensively by the Czechoslovakian army. They were crucial in protecting areas from advancing tanks and trucks. Surprisingly effective, the four-pronged design wreaks havoc on tank tracks, truck tires, and anything else dumb enough to try and drive over them. Tire killer. This is what happens when you put teeth on a driveway. Nicknamed road spikes on steroids, the above-ground tire killer does exactly as its name suggests. When retracted, it just looks like your run-of-the-mill speed bump, but one quick button press from the guard station and multiple Teflon quills pop up, ready to shred your rubber into oblivion. With just one puncture, the tire killer will deflate your tires in less than 5 seconds flat. Nighthawk. This device is the ultimate in remote spike strip deployment. While remotely deployed spike strips aren't exactly a new invention, the Nighthawk comes with some cool tech upgrades. For starters, the officer holding the remote control can be up to 150 feet away, making sure he's out of the criminal's sight. Secondly, a powerful blast of compressed air deploys the spike strips completely in less than a second, making it much more efficient than other models. And finally, after striking its target, the Nighthawk self-retracts, making it safer for any officers following. HTI Raptor. When it comes to stopping something dead in its tracks, few barriers work better than a good old-fashioned bollard. While a concrete block is generally more than enough to stop unwanted intruders, the HTI Raptor takes entry denial to a whole new level. Featuring a curved metal bollard concealed underground, the HTI Raptor can be deployed in an instant to absolutely destroy the front end of anything that runs into it. It's the ultimate case of talk to the hand, cause the face ain't listening. Zombie cars. Remember in The Fate of the Furious when hackers commandeered a whole fleet of cars to take out a VIP motorcade? Sounds far-fetched. Well, not exactly. With the rise of internet-connected vehicles and smart driving systems, the possibility for mischief is becoming increasingly apparent. Hackers have demonstrated how they can remotely control systems in a Jeep Cherokee, disabling everything from the AC to the brakes and even the engine itself. Fortunately, police can use this to their advantage, especially when cars are controlled by OnStar. A quick call to the service provider and police are able to remotely slow down your car to a complete standstill, making for the easiest arrest of the century. Pit maneuver.
Check this out. They are attempting a pit maneuver. Oh, here we go. Vehicle flipped over. Oh my goodness. Vehicle flipped over.
When you're out of fancy gadgets and high-tech tracking devices, sometimes you gotta go old school. The absolute OG of police car chase tactics is the pit maneuver. Done right, and you can end the chase in a matter of seconds. Done wrong, however, and it's a recipe for disaster. From the rear, police nudge the side of your criminal's car, sending into a controlled 180-degree spin before coming to a stop. If you've played GTA, you've probably performed the maneuver countless times to win a race. Once done successfully, other police cars can then box the criminal in and make an arrest. But sometimes things don't go to plan. Too much of a push, and the other car can end up spinning out into oncoming traffic or flipping on its roof. Or you attempt the maneuver too fast and both cars can end up totaled. And while either failure does technically end the car chase, the whole point is to not cause collateral damage.